We're gonna dive in first to the 5 levels of real, authentic leadership. I got some of these from John Maxwell, so I always wanna give credit, but I added my own twist to it. And I've executed these, and I've failed to do these, and I've tried for years to get to that top level, and I feel like I'm close, but I'm not there yet, and I wanna give you everything I know. There's position leadership, there's permission leadership, production leadership, people development, then there's the Pinnacle Leader. So the first is position leadership. This is the most basic level of leadership. You have a title and that's it. You'll only be able to lead based on what your title enables you to lead with. Your authority only goes as far as your title, and the people will only follow you as far as your title allows. As an example of this is kind of like a first level manager in a company. People that you are managing will do just enough to please you, and you're only leading them in name, and your leverage is only what your authority has been given to you from above. More fear than inspiration. Okay, that's lower level management. Next, permission. This is when people begin to follow you because they choose to. This is the beginning of true leadership and influence. People really enjoy working with you. They choose to follow you. You can begin to really grow as a person and an organization when people follow you voluntarily and you start helping and shifting their perspective. If you want to be on a winning team, you want people that are drawn to you, that show respect and show loyalty. Next is a production leader. People begin to produce and follow you because of what they see you're doing for the organization. You're leading by example. People like what you do and also want to contribute themselves. They start seeing paychecks. You start getting them results and they see you help them grow. They know you have their best interests in mind, and 1 is too small of a number to achieve anything great. This is when the team starts understanding the power of multiple people focusing on a vision, right? There's travel agent leaders and tour guide leaders, right? Nothing more effective for a leader than somebody who has done what they are teaching and promoting. You cannot teach what you don't know from experience. So this is a huge difference. Someone says, hey, go here and here and here. Let's fly here, I'll help you. Have you been there? No, I haven't. Now a tour guide actually has been in the trenches. They've mastered what they're teaching most of the time. They've been on that trail. They've been on that guide. A lot of travel agents have never been to where they're telling people to go. Big difference, right? Next, people development. This is the mentor level. How do I relate to you and how can we produce results together? This is when you take a step back and figure out you work for them, they don't work for you. At this point in leadership, you have others follow you because of what you've done for them personally. You've poured into other people and they are growing in leadership because of you. They're becoming better leaders. They're feeling their philosophies level up, their perspectives sharpen, right? If you're in a real leadership role, the best thing you can do is be a servant to them and do everything you can to add value to them. When you help them get past limitations, when you help them see results and actually shift their perspective, they will never forget you. This is where you shift from getting people to like you to more respect and loyalty because you're actually having their best interests in mind. Everyone needs someone that cares more about their success in their future than what they think about you in the moment. This is where your business can really go to a whole new level. Your team can grow to different stratospheres and the growth is consistent. Remember, companies don't succeed, people do. This is where you're leading by example and you're getting people real results. Next, this is the pinnacle. It's called the Pinnacle Leader, AKA the legendary leader. This is the pinnacle of all leadership and only occurs when people follow you based on who you are, what you represent, and what you stand for. This is the level that's reserved for the people who have spent years growing others and their organization. Very few people make it to this level because of reasons I'll talk about in a little bit, but leadership and the ability to influence others is a must for a person who wants to thrive in life beyond their own self. Your ability to have successful relationships, a successful job, a thriving business, or overall satisfaction with life will have to do with helping others thrive and how to properly influence others, and most importantly, yourself. This is the level all leaders strive to get to, and this is what the Game Changers is all about. This is where you really are leading by example. People follow you because they respect who you are, what you stand for, and they know your intentions are pure because you're putting them first and you truly have their best interest in mind. Very few people get to this level of leadership. So what actions need to happen right now in order for you to reach that next level of leadership in your life and in your organization? You have to act as if. If you act as if you're at the next level and you make decisions as if you're at the next level of leadership and you respond to people as if you're at the next level, you'll eventually get there. So think about what level you're at now and what steps have to happen for you to figure out how to get to the next level. So let's talk about the major attributes of leadership, because I want you to understand that those are the 5 levels that you want to aspire to get to, okay? Now you need these attributes to help you get to that pinnacle level of leadership. Number 1, unwavering courage based on knowledge of self and the due diligence of the industry. No follower wishes to be dominated by a leader who lacks self-confidence and courage. No intelligent follower will be dominated by such a leader very long. The ultimate relationship is the relationship with yourself. You need to be self-aware, and the belief you have in yourself makes a massive difference in how you approach the world. So how much have you studied? How much have you lived and breathed the industry? Are you obsessed with the industry you want to dominate? Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Winston Churchill, Phil Jackson, Vince Lombardi, Nick Saban, John Wooden, Quentin Tarantino, right? Have you mastered your craft? That's number 1. Have you mastered your craft and you have unwavering faith and courage that you know how to lead this team to success and victory? Number 2, self-control. The man who cannot control himself can never control others properly. Self-control sets a mighty example for one's followers, which the more intelligent will emulate and want to be like. Are you living what you're promoting? An incongruent leader will never attract A players. If I told my sales team to be up early, I need to be up early. If I told my sales team to always have their goals written down, I made sure they were. If I told them to always be early, I have to always be early. Okay? The next thing is a keen sense of justice. Without a sense of fairness and justice, no leader can command and retain the respect of his followers or his team. So you have to understand it's not about who's right, but what's right. Next is definiteness of decision. Yes, that's a word. A man or woman who wavers in their decision shows that they are not sure of themselves. You cannot lead others to be successful if you don't have definite of decision, right? Do not ride the fence. Take your time in gathering all the information you need to make the right decision, then act promptly. Successful leaders make decisions promptly, and it's hard to change their mind. Average leaders make decisions slowly, and they're very easily influenced and change their mind often. So the most certain way to get results, for 5 minutes, rehearse your day. Mentally rehearse all of your day and think about what the perfect day looks like. Literally see it play out in your eyes. What emotions do you want to feel that day? What are your most important tasks? Leaders always approach the day with full clarity and confidence and definition of purpose. Next, definiteness of plans. The successful leader must plan his work and work his plan consistently. A leader who moves by guesswork without practical, definite plans is kind of like a ship without a rudder. Sooner or later, it's gonna hit the rocks. It might go for a while, but sooner or later, it's gonna hit the rocks. The next attribute that's crucial is getting in the habit of doing more than you're paid for. One of the penalties of leadership is the necessity of willingness upon the part of the leader to do more than he's required of from his followers. Also, you gotta get used to taking the short end of the stick. Going extra mile will pay for itself tenfold in the future. Next goes without saying, a pleasing personality. No careless person can become a successful leader. Leadership demands and calls for respect. Followers will not respect the leader who does not grade high on all factors of a pleasing personality. Have empathy. Next is sympathy and understanding. The successful leader must be in sympathy with his followers. Moreover, he must understand them and their problems. Next, mastery of detail. Successful leadership calls for mastery of details of the leader's position. If you aren't detail, like for you, if you're not a detail person personally, find assistants, find a sales manager, find executive assistants who are. For me, when I ran a sales team, I wasn't detailed, but my assistant was, and they were actually way more detailed than anybody, which was perfect for our team. So just find people who are detailed if you're not. This is a huge one. Willingness to assume 100% responsibility. The successful leader must be willing to assume responsibility for the mistakes and the shortcomings of his followers and of his team. If he tries to shift this responsibility, he will not remain the leader. If one of his team members makes a mistake and shows himself incompetent, the leader must consider then it is his fault he failed because he hired them, right? You have to understand, when it comes to successful leadership, if you're not doing well, it's your fault, okay? Take responsibility. If you're doing okay and you're doing consistent work, it's everybody. If you're crushing it, it's all your team. So once again, you don't want to always take credit, you want to give credit away. So real leaders, if they're not doing well, leadership, the actual leader takes responsibility for lack of leadership. If you're doing okay, everybody is doing it. If you're crushing it, it's your team. Remember that. Hey, what's up? And thank you for watching this video. If you enjoy this video and this content, make sure you hit the subscribe button below, put the notifications on, and I assure you, you'll love this content and these videos.